Presenter Andrew Neil has defended his decision to block Twitter accounts bearing the anti-Brexit #FBPE hashtag. Mr. Neil described the Remain campaigners as numpties and said recent messages from #FBPE supporters vindicated his policy of blocking them. The BBC political journalist is an avid social media user and often courts controversy with some of his posts. Remainers use the #FBPE hashtag as an identity tag to find other supporters online, abuse Leave supporters and snipe about Brexit even though Britain has already left the EU and is now in a transition period. The hashtag, which stands for Follow Back Pro EU, has spread across Twitter after first appearing back in October 2017 and has since gained a fairly hardline following. Dutchman Hendrik Claessens appeared to be the first person to use it in a bid to help pro-EU Twitter users connect and follow one another online. And the hashtag was quickly adopted by Remainers in their posts and usernames as, over the years the hashtag has become a hotbed of crackpot conspiracy theories about the Brexit vote, with claims of «crooked forces» lying behind leaving the EU. Critics of Mr. Neil have accused him of simply blocking anyone who disagrees with his views on social media. Mike Marr 82,888,097 said, "Neil blocked me after I pulled him up for name-calling and bullying on Twitter. He has no other answer when he's brought under scrutiny himself. He'd previously derided me as a numpty, a favourite insult of his, after I pointed out he was incorrect on the UK national minimum wage. He later claimed his ignorance of the fact was given for illustration only. Nor should you forget the mental fragility of ordinary, frightened and confused citizens who are turning to those employed by at BBC Politics looking for facts. Stop bullying and name-calling people on Twitter at Afneil, you really ought to know better. The government has vowed to thrash out a trade deal with Brussels by the end of the year despite negotiations grinding to a halt due to the coronavirus crisis. EU sources have claimed progress is at a standstill with both sides running out of topics to discuss. Last week officials held daily phone calls as the EU and UK teams continued to clarify their counterparts' positions, in areas such as fishing, mobility, trade and justice and home affairs. Both teams are analysing draft free trade agreements tabled almost 3 weeks ago, but there has been little sign of an immediate breakthrough. A UK government spokesman said, David Frost and the EU's deputy head of the task force, Clara Martinez Alberola, and their teams spoke by video conference to take stock of those discussions and to consider the next steps. They agreed that there was scope for further productive discussions and contact should continue in the next few days. Planned negotiating rounds have been scrapped after it was deemed too risky to hold face-to-face talks in the midst of the global pandemic. Instead, both sides will continue to plow on with talks over the phone while a more concrete negotiating plan is devised by the chief negotiator.